As a disclaimer for anyone watching this episode of The Dean's Room, please note that we currently are filming at a live studio located none other than in the center of Easton Town Center.
We're at a Bath and Body Works right now, sitting in the car. I'm thinking about Bath and Beyond, sitting on their couches. We're not supposed to be here.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
Shoot, 5 more minutes.
It's the Dean's Room, where I see you and you see me. The Dean's Room, where we spillin' all that tea. The Dean's Room, where we talking all that goss. The Dean's Room, but you know that I'm the boss.
Hola todos, it is your favorite tia Hiliana Pérez, and we are in the Dean's Room tonight, all the way from Camp Kiki, Season 4, which means 4. I have the amazing, the oh so talented, just beautifully, beautifully talented Clinica Deprecious!
Yay! Hi! Thank you so much for having me!
Well, you are very welcome, and who do we have here?
Oh, well actually, a fun thing about this look, this is actually my talent show look for season... wow, for season 4! Episode 3 of the show that I'm on. This Dean's Room is coming out after the episode comes out, so it's legal, it's allowed. So yes, this is my Pride talent show look, and this is my way of incorporating non-binary into a fun little execution. It's a little alien bursting out of my stomach to say, "You have no gender, you fools!"
You fools! You will never have a gender.
I get a gender at the end of this, right?
Well, I mean, if I'm feeling generous enough, I'll throw one up at you.
For coming to the show, you don't get any money, but you do get a free gender ticket.
Where you can get yourself any gender you please.
I said so you can!
I am so happy that you're here with us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how has life been since the secret of you being in Wanakiki was divulged into the world?
It has been wonderful. By the end of this year, I'm going to be performing in New York City, in Chicago, up in Louisville, in Albany. I'm going to be going down to... Am I going to Texas? I'm not going to Texas. Sorry, Texas.
Yes.
Book me.
Hey, if you are in Texas and you want to book this amazing
3 hours later.
Amazing. I think you're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing entertainer. Clinica Deprecious. Then why not? Just book them. Clinica.
Yes.
You attended this episode, did you not?
Yes, I did. I have actually attended every episode of The Drag Master. Let me put my foot down here. I am the #1 fan of The Drag Master. I challenge anyone on that. Quiz me.
Okay.
Quiz me on anything. Anything from The Drag Master.
Ooh,
I have been to every episode except for the ball episode of episode 1. I was not there.
Okay, who was the first person to go home season 1?
In season 1,
Mm-hmm.
that was technically Santana Visage from COVID, but the first person to face elimination via the lip sync process was Firestorm.
Ooh, okay, Clinica.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised.
I have a whole spreadsheet. Listen, I love me an Excel spreadsheet, and every time I come home from a Drag Master episode, I pull out my computer and I type with one hand, because this is actually my normal hand.
Oh.
The other one's for show and decoration.
It's okay.
This is actually me out of drag.
Well, I'm so glad that you were so open with us today.
Thank you, absolutely. You know, being on camera is all about vulnerability. So I get back and I immediately have just a whole spreadsheet of everything that happens, and I have it for Drag Master, I have it for Top Prospect, I have it for Mix Zephyr, and any other competition that comes by, like, I'll have it. I don't like to give that away. Keep people guessing. If people just look and see my spreadsheet, then they won't even go to the events. They'll just be like, let me see what happened. No.
You're right.
You gotta go to find out.
You know what? Thank you so much, Clinica, for not sharing that
You're
spreadsheet,
welcome.
because that means that more people will now come over to the show.
You want to know the elimination order? Show up. Show up! You want to learn something in school? Attend! That's right, bitch.
So, Clinica,
Mm-hmm.
the challenge was the Snatch Game!
The Snatch Game. Oh my gosh. Let me
Were
tell
you excited?
If drag competitions were every other Wild West movie,
Mhm.
all the other challenges are bartering with the bank, gunslinging in town, going and doing stuff at high noon. Snatch Game is the rattlesnake pit scene
It really is.
of ever.
'Cause that's
My
when you
gosh. That to me, I just firmly believe that Snatch Game is the hardest challenge. Because it relies so much on how the audience reacts, and that's not how you can judge yourself in that moment. Even if the
True.
audience doesn't pick up on a joke, you gotta keep going, because if they see that you lose steam, you lose steam.
They can smell fear, bitch.
Yeah, and if you have a number, if you have a performance, like performance challenges, runway challenges, what you brought is what you brought,
Uh-huh.
and you as soon as you step on the stage, you either do what's planned, you're already wearing the garment, it's gonna be judged as it is. You don't have to worry about what you do in that moment because you already prepared beforehand. But Snatch Game is you're there in that moment. What happens there, and you can change the trajectory of the night there and then.
Exactly. That is very well said. So, just to kind of piggyback off of that, it is extremely difficult. It is
Oh
so
my
difficult
gosh.
to be able to be on your toes, first of all.
You don't know what I'm wearing under these.
Exactly.
If this is my hand, who knows what my feet are?
You're right. Should we find out?
That's for a different video. That's not the dean's room. That's the janitor's closet.
The janitor's closet!
Hi, and welcome to the Drag Master's the janitor's closet, where we observe my feet every week, and I tell you an opinion.
One.
One opinion.
Just one opinion
Per foot.
per foot. Okay, so talking about opinions, we had the Snatch Game, and you actually were one of the contestants that our celebrity contestants had to match answers to.
Mm-hmm.
How was that experience for you?
Any time I get to be within a mile radius of Star Synovia is always a delight. So
Yes.
the entire we were sitting there and we would just lean over and make jokes to each other, fighting the urge not to make our jokes into the mic. It's just so fun. I love Star so much. It was a wonderful time. It was super fun, especially getting to see everyone kind of up close, because I think it's different when you're in the audience not wearing
Yes.
glasses.
Yes, it is definitely pretty different when you're not in the audience, not wearing glasses. Did I say
I
it
had
correctly?
a point, and then it went sideways. It was really great getting to be up there and seeing them a lot closer. It was just,
I've been close and personal versus being a spectator.
Mm-hmm.
So I called everyone out onto the stage, and we had, I'm going to list off everyone and who they were on Snatch Game. So we had Maelstrom as Liza Minnelli.
Yes.
We had Hotel Onassis as the Tooth Fairy.
Eat it up.
We had Saline as Peter Griffin.
Mm.
We had Leota Toombs as Beetlejuice.
Showtime, baby.
And we had Sage Love as Edna Mode.
No kicks.
And then we had Braylon Dawlings as Paris Hilton.
That's hot.
And Sasha Joshua Sincelli as Santa Claus.
Ho, with only two.
But only
Only
two.
two ho-hos.
Including Klausy, or aka known as Klausy. And Ariana Grande as Rachel Dolezal.
My gosh. Who do we jump into first?
Who were your standouts in the Snatch Game?
My personal favorite was Ariana Grande.
Okay.
I thought that was such a smart decision. I thought it was so funny. Maelstrom also was a standout for me. And I enjoyed Ho. I really enjoyed Hotel. Ho made me
Yes.
laugh a lot.
Same here. Especially as the Tooth Fairy who grinds up all the molars
Mhm.
and snorts that shit. Yeah.
That's so good. That's such a good
Yeah.
concept.
Because Hotel was a Tooth Fairy,
Mhm.
right? So as a Tooth Fairy does, they grind up molars and they snort it up.
People were laughing, but I'm like, that's what the Tooth Fairy does, right?
I mean, I believed it.
You ever been conscious when she comes by?
Never.
Yeah, Hotel's interpretation was very spot on. Clossie.
Clossie.
Joshua Sincelli was a standout for me as well.
So Joshua Sincelli was Santa Claus as a drag queen, and also known as Clossie. It only said, ho, ho.
Only twice! I was waiting for it.
You were waiting with Antissa.
Ho. It was so funny. I thought that was just like such a strong start. I love that Ho and Joshua brought both kind of similar characters.
Yes.
They had such great twists on them, and the twists it hooked me immediately.
We already went over the ones that were standouts for you, Clinica. So who were some of the ones that were not so much of a standout for you?
I would say I was a little let down when Saline came out as Peter Griffin, because when you choose an animated character for a Snatch Game, one of the most defining qualities of an animated character is that they're voice acted, which means they have very defined voices. And I feel like if you choose an animated character, you should choose someone that you could do their voice really well. So when Saline came out, I was expecting a very spot-on Peter Griffin impersonation. And I just feel like it wasn't quite there. And I have to rewatch the episode to see if this is true, but I definitively don't remember a single.
You
Where
are
was
correct.
that, Saline? Where was that delightful laugh?
Where
I
was
wanted
that
to see it so.
delightful little...
Saline owes me an apology video spoken entirely through. I can't do it. See, I wouldn't do Peter Griffin.
Exactly. See, I agree with you. I totally agree with you, because...
To Saline, not Peter Griffin. I do not love Peter Griffin.
Yeah, no, we don't care for Peter. Peter.
There have been quite a few
fictional characters.
Yeah, because we also had Sage, who was Edna Mode, which I also want to add. We now have completed the holy trinity of Edna Modes in Snatch Games, because we had Zoe Zagai up at Top Prospect, who was Edna Mode. We had, oh my god, Miss Clara T, who was Edna Mode for McZephyr. And now we had an Edna Mode down here, too.
Holy shit, Edna Mode.
The
Edna Modes.
The Edna Modes.
The modes of Edna Mode.
Yeah. They're now the Edna Mob.
The Edna Mob. The Edna Mob. So, Peter Griffin was one of your not so much of a standout.
Mm-hmm.
Any other individuals that were not much of a standout for you during this Snatch Game?
I was also hoping for more from Braylon.
Okay.
Because Braylon made the decision to, not that everything drag related has to be compared to Drag Race, but there is something to be said when you come out and you do a memorable character that was done on Drag Race and not doing the same jokes. Yeah. And I felt like Braylon delivered just a few of the same jokes and then didn't have anything beyond that. So I wish that there was... Braylon's impersonation of Paris was spot on. Mm-hmm. She looked like her. Yeah, it was great. I just wish that there was a little more preparation coming in there of like, I'm going to have this joke to say and then this joke to say. Because as much as Snatch Game is also an improv game, you come in there with prepared jokes. And from there, you can riff off what the host says, what the other contestants say. And that's the improv portion, but it's not just improv. And so... I hope there was no confusion there, but I think that was...
It makes sense. I did notice that some of the jokes that Braylon was using were from, Drag Race and other individuals that have done Paris Hilton. Mm-hmm. They were funny, and, they were funny then, and they were funny this past Monday. But I will say that some preparation would have just kicked it off to the next level that we really needed to see from Braylon.
And specifically with both Braylon and Saline that I noticed is that, and this is a common thing that happens in the Snatch Game, is that even when you don't have the mic, be on. Be in character. Be engaged. Always. Be listening to what everyone else is saying. But you see, and Barryana was fantastic at this. Maelstrom was fantastic at this. They were tuning into what everyone else was saying, and if there was a dead moment, or a pause, or a moment to chime in with their character, if something came up, and Maelstrom was listening, and one moment Leota brought up Liza, and Maelstrom, boom, was immediately on that because Maelstrom was listening.
Yes.
And you need to be able to jump in when you need to because the game of Snatch Game is steal the show.
It honestly is. It's steal the show, improv, be funny, and to have that back and forth. Because I was able to have a little bit of back and forth, you know, with some characters and with some I wasn't able to. So, going back to what you said, if you stay on at 100% the entire time...
You don't have to get on!
Exactly, because if you stay on, you don't gotta get on.
We're on right now.
We're always on.
We're gonna let this happen.
Oh, hi. Hi.
Meow.
How are you? You can't eat my hand, I'm sorry. Our Snatch Game ended, and then we had our runway.
Our runways.
Runway.
Yes.
Bring it to the runway.
Oh.
Bring it to the runway. Bring it to the runway. Yes. And our runway. Our runway was rainbow.
Rainbow.
It was rainbow.
Love it. They came out there and I was like, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Where are they?
Roy G. Biv.
Mm-hmm.
Roy G. Biv.
Roy Gabov.
Rugaboo?
Up dog.
Up dog.
Mm-hmm.
It was up dog?
Yeah.
What's up dog?
Not much. What's up with you?
Yes!
That's all I came here for. Bye.
So, our runway. Who were your standouts for the runway in Rainbow?
Okay. I loved Leota's look. I thought it was very Lisa Frank. I think it was just very high energy, fun, campy, and I love...
It was Lisa Frankenstein.
Lisa Frankenstein.
So we have Leota Toombs as one of your tops. Okay, with the Lisa Frankenstein. I love that look. I do like neon. Not much of a huge Lisa Frank fan, but I am fan of the Monster High dolls, and it reminded me...
That is a much better comparison than what I had. Monster High, yeah, I felt that. I love that Leota, that they changed their makeup between Runway and Challenge. I wish that maybe they had gotten more time with like the makeup of this, because I feel like it looked a little bit smudged. And I like that they had the shape of the mouth, and that was very featured and defined. I could tell that it was stitched, and I wish that something defined was also happening up at the eyes, too, because I felt like there was stuff to be done. But the look itself was beautiful. I loved it. It was fun.
Yes.
It was a good time.
I enjoyed it, and it was such, like you said, high energy, and they were just out there and just living their best Monster High, Lisa Frankenstein life. I loved it. Any other standouts for you in the rainbow?
Standouts in the rainbow. Well, the thing is, Hiliana, they were all standing. Walking even.
Stupid me.
I loved what Ho brought. I loved that outfit. Like the shimmering, sparkling, long sleeves gown. That was a good moment. That was fun.
We've never actually seen Ho in a gown.
Yeah, she says she's never worn one. Or if she has, it's been...
ages ago.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen Ho in a freaking gown. So seeing Ho, I love saying Ho. Hotel.
I wish I could have heard it 3 times from Joshua!
Wow, Joshua. I see how it is.
I loved you, Joshua. That was good. Joshua's another look I really liked. But more about Ho for just a second. Oh my god. I loved seeing how happy Ho was on that runway. That was joy.
Yes.
And it was... Well, Ho always lives for themselves, and they always have that sense of just, I'm here, I'm having a good time, I'm living for myself, I am beautiful. I just love seeing that.
There.
And this gown also just really accentuated that as well. So
yes. And Hotel coming out in that gown definitely gave her that extra oomph. Because, Hotel comes out there, like you said, feeling their oats and just that confidence that they have on that runway. And seeing that transform into like, holy shit, I'm in a gown and I am really feeling myself. That was really good to see.
And Ho was safe this week, and from the past weeks that we've seen, I think Ho's had a bit of a bumpy ride. And I think from being safe, you don't get the recognition of when you've escaped the bottom.
Yeah.
And so I just want to give a personal shout out to Ho. This was a good week for you. You did an incredible job. You should be very, very proud of yourself. You looked beautiful. You were hilarious. I'm very happy for you, and I can't wait to see what you bring throughout the rest of this competition. You should be very proud of yourself. Congratulations, and
That makes me so happy. Yeah. Any other standouts at all for the runway?
I was also a big fan of Josh's runway, as well as Sage's. I think they looked very good and very fun. I liked that Sage looked like she was floating on a little cloud. Looked like a Lakitu from Mario Brothers. Very fun. She had a very animated night.
She really did. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she did. Okay, Clinica, I see what you're doing. We spoke about everyone that were, standouts for us.
Mm-hmm.
Who were standouts but not for the right reasons?
Runway-wise, I loved Maelstrom's concept. I loved the painting. I loved the dress. I was not a fan of the cake in the back. I think it felt a little bit disjointed. I felt like it was a little bit distracting, and it didn't really mesh well with the outfit. And since the whole outfit's rainbow, so should the cape. It was fixating on one color. It accentuated that color when it was supposed to be about spreading them all out. I think it could have done without that. But other than that, I really enjoyed that look. Another bit of a bottom look for me is I was not the biggest fan of Saleen's, in that I thought it was a wonderful concept. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I just wish that there were more balls, which is what I always say. But no, I'm not a huge fan of the critique. Simply, I want to see more, because I sit there and I think to myself, more what? Please tell us more. And I just wish that there was
more.
I hate saying it. It's not good, but I wish it was spread out to the shoes.
Yes.
I wish there was more in the hair. And since it's such like a cutesy, like almost doll-like look, I wish the hair defied gravity a little bit and had some shape to it.
Yes.
I did love how she played with her pigtails. I just wish that the balls were spread out throughout more of the costume.
We want some spread out balls, Saleen.
Oh my god, y'all.
No,
I don't know her like that.
I know what you mean, though. Like, it is a very valid point, because I always say this week after week. Details are so important.
Oh, also, just in relation to the competition around Saleen and just, what we saw that night.
Yeah.
And I, in all sincerity, I do love Bariana as well. I do wish that there was... I love the outfit. I wish that the hair also somehow incorporated with it, or that it had some volume or went up. So I do wish that if you're going to go with... I just feel very, very passionately about concepts in runways and how it should translate throughout the entire body from head to toe. And sometimes just from the neck up, and specifically with Bariana, I like that Saleen brought it up to the top of the head with Bariana, is that I wish that what was happening here and down matched what was happening here and up. I did love her makeup. Her makeup did correlate with well, but I guess I would wish for a different hair.
Okay.
Me, Clinica, the hair critic.
Always asking so much.
Yeah, you better wear nails.
Nails.
You better be padded right. You better steam all your outfits. I'm in no place to judge. Y'all did good.
So that was our challenge and our runway. So we had our top 3 placements and our bottom 3 placements.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, or as Josh Clossy would say, dun, dun.
Dun. Just dun, dun.
Where's the third?
There's never a third. Placements for Monday night, we had Bariana Grande in the top.
Agreed.
We had Maelstrom in the top. And we also had Leota Toombs in the top. Yes. So do we agree or disagree?
I would have liked to see Hotel get some recognition from that episode. I was a fan of what Hotel brought. I really like that. I wish Hotel would have wiggled her way into the top. That's what I would have liked to see.
Okay, well maybe. Hotel, your task for next week is to just wiggle your way to
Wiggle
the
for
top.
me. Wiggle for me. Don't wiggle for me. I'm not worth it.
And in our bottom three, we had Saline, Sage Love, and Braylon Darling.
I did agree with this bottom three.
Okay.
I feel that a lot of them got overshadowed by their Snatch Game characters, and I think that, for example, Joshua and Ho, sometimes maybe not having moments where, well, I know Ho did, but they made their characters and the concept of their character very, very lovable and likable, and I think that's also a very important part of Snatch Game, is you want people to want to root for you, and I think that teen pop sensation Brent Allen Burrington was very correct when he said that Sage, Edna, is not mean, and it kind of made it hard to root for Edna, because this is not the Edna we know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Sage, with much love, that was bottom was justified, and
I see what you
I
did
think
there.
Salem. What did I say?
Sage with much love.
I'll do that for the others. Say with much lean, Bray with much Lindallings, was also justified as well.
Yes, I will agree with all of your statements, as well as I agree with the bottom three placements. During critiques, we did have one of our judges, Devin Ayers. He went ahead and called out some of the humor that was utilized. Was not necessarily the best humor utilized, as it was a little bit on the microaggressionary side, if that's even a word. So with some of the characters in Snatch Game, they did address some jokes towards me with, confusing me with another Latinx individual, or, whatever, and things like that. That, they did make me feel a little uncomfortable. But Devin did go ahead and catch on to that, and he did call it out. And we actually had a conversation about that on stage. Devin called out the fact that there were microaggressions that were done throughout the Snatch Game, and why it is important that us, as people of color, on the receiving end of those jokes, why it is important to be cognizant of your audience, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any thoughts or anything on that?
I'm very, very happy that conversation was had, because, the whole point of Drag Master is that it's supposed to be an environment where these entertainers can receive guidance and just help within this confusing, wild world that is drag. And I think that having that conversation, like right there in the moment, addressing it head on, is really going to help everyone, not even just the contestants, in the long run. Because, this idea of dark comedy or shock humor is tricky, and I think that there's this notion for white comedians specifically, or white people in the mic who are trying to kind of execute comedy, that, if I have a joke about race that's so funny, just so funny that it will be forgiven, and that is how you navigate shock humor. And I don't think that's necessarily true.
It doesn't apply to every single type of humor, y'all. Yeah. So I did, after Devin spoke his piece about microaggressions and humor at our expense, people of color, just don't do it. I mean, simple as that, just don't do it. The thing is that with individuals that had this type of comedy, I didn't take it personally at all whatsoever, because I know that wasn't their intention. I mean, it really isn't a lot of people's intention to be a certain way with their comedy or anything like that. However, I did want to bring up and bring awareness to the fact that it did make me feel a little uncomfortable, and I felt like I had to just laugh it off, because that's what I'm used to. But once Devin called it out, I also, backed that up and said, you know what? Thank you for calling it out, because I myself felt like I had to comply and just laugh it off. But it did make me feel a little uncomfortable, and I had those conversations with those individuals after, and I'm fine. We're fine. It's just having that conversation and the willingness to learn and actually start that dialogue and continue the dialogue throughout however long it takes for one to get a more of a clear picture of what our experience is.
It's beautifully said.
Thank you.
From what I understand, it's so many like white entertainers in comedy try to navigate shock humor, and I hate that shock humor and dark humor are immediately tied to jokes about race.
Yep.
Because that is not the only way it manifests, and it's not a way it should manifest for a white entertainer with a mic. And it's like race is seen as this low-hanging fruit joke, but that's not something for you to grab, and that's not a joke that works for you, because all these jokes about race are all built upon something that, more often than not, created and controlled and monopolized by white people. So it is once again a white person benefiting off of a way in which the people of color are oppressed.
Yep.
By now using jokes about them in their favor. And it's also, my personal belief is that race jokes are, from white people, race jokes, so lazy.
They are.
That's
all you could think of, you know?
No, sincerity,
Right.
Listen, I don't care if a white comedian has a Netflix special, I don't care if they have a filled audience every night, I don't care if they finish a number, get a standing ovation, if they got through that entire set relying entirely on race jokes, they're not funny. And they're lazy.
Yep.
And I just don't, no, bad. Wow, very word.
Yeah.
Well worded.
Very word. I love it.
No, you said it beautifully.
Thank you, and I definitely agree. That's my word, y'all. I agree with a lot of things here at the Dean's Room, and especially that, because now that you mention it, when it comes to comedy, it is really, like, there's a science to it, right? You have to have your structure, you have to have a setup, you have your punchline, and blah, 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 timing, and all that. And if you're just gonna throw out race jokes just because they're funny, that definitely is very lazy. So I would encourage everyone and anyone that is going into anything with comedy to just try to stray away from the whole race thing, especially if you're white.
Also, if you're doing race jokes as a white comedian for the sake of shock humor, I think you'll find that a white comedian not being racist would be more shocking.
I agree. So the bottom three were, once again, Saline, Sage Love, and Braylon.
Yes.
One of them was safe, which was Sage Love.
Safe love.
Safe Love. Safe Love.
Good one, Clinica.
Good one. So Saline and Braylon had to lip sync to the song Fashion by Lady Gaga. So what did you think of the lip sync?
I think they performed very, very neck and neck. I think they brought the same energy, and what ultimately cost... Spoilers, I'm so sorry. What cost Braylon the lip sync is that Braylon tend to gravitate behind Saline. And often, and since they had the same energy, Braylon almost volunteered themselves as a backup dancer for Saline, was so often in the back or behind or far away, and came forward only once. And so I think that was ultimately a split hair between the two, and I think that's what saved Saline.
That is a pretty valid point.
Make sure that you're constantly in the focus. Don't be
I didn't even realize that, since you mentioned it. Braylon definitely was a little bit more towards the back, behind Saline, and...
Which is unfortunate, because Braylon is a wonderful, beautiful lip syncer.
She is.
But if you're not in the focus, you're not in the focus.
You're not going to be seen.
Yeah.
Closed mouths do not get fed.
Yeah.
Saline was say seen. I see you, Saline.
I see you, Saline, because you stay seen, Saline.
Because, baby, you my Saline solution.
So that means that Braylon actually was expelled from Drag Nesta. I know. I was very, very saddened by the fact that Braylon was eliminated, but also happy that Saline was not eliminated. So if it were reversed, it still would be the same predicament for me. I would be very sad that Saline would have been eliminated and Braylon wasn't happy that Braylon stayed. Both of them could have stayed. But, it is a competition.
That is just the way that the cookie crumbles, how the cards fall, how the house gets disclosed, how the cat gets spayed, and how I get the crap eaten out of me. Yeah. But yeah, no, God, I love Braylon so much. Braylon is such a light and a joy in this community, is constantly spreading positivity, and I know that she's going to go far. And I'm very, very happy with her run in this competition. And I know Braylon would appreciate this. Braylon, no matter what character you were playing, what challenge you were doing, whether it was on the screen, whether it was on stage, no matter what runway, what prompt, you always looked beautiful. You always looked good.
I mean, you're not lying, Clinica. Like, Braylon literally is one of the most beautiful drag entertainers ever. So beautiful, so tall and statuesque. Leg for days, first of all. Leg for days, beautiful skin. Gorgeous, gorgeous human being. And I even told Braylon, I was like, listen, you got eliminated, yes. That's okay. Feel your feelings, whatever you need to feel. But do not deflect from the fact that you grew so much from week 1 up until week 6. There was a lot of growth. There was a lot that we saw from Braylon that kept surprising me and also surprising herself. She surprised herself a lot of times. So I think that losing is a new winning. Not gonna lie.
And Saline, we're so excited to see what you continue to bring, especially since Saline is so brand new. Not to drag, but to performance and putting themselves out on the stage. And I'm happy with what you're bringing so far in this competition. I can't wait to see more. Also, your style and aesthetic is very kind of vintage doll. I have a number that you can do at some point. I want to see you do an Elf on the Shelf number. I think Saline could kill that. I want to see an Elf on the Shelf number from Saline.
Saline, Elf on the Shelf. Elf on a Shelf.
Elf on the Shelf. The number starts, we're like, where are you? And then we just hear you, and when we look up, and there you are on the roof. Sitting there. Waiting. Drop down into a split. That's right.
So, Clinica, guess what?
The United States has just merged with the Pacific Ocean, and now it's its own individual territory.
That means that we would be mermaids, and I would love that.
Mermaid American.
Oh, mermaid Merkins. Merkins.
Bad. Carry on. What was your question? You were saying?
I said, we just spilled the tea.
We did.
Yes, we just spilled all the tea with the motherfucking faculty.
That's right.
In the dean's room.
Wait, what's my job in this school? Yes. What do I do? Wait, since I am the #1 fan of the Drag Master, am I on the newspaper committee? What do they call it in schools?
The school newspaper.
School newspaper. Do I run the school newspaper?
I think you do.
Oh my god.
But also the janitor's.
You're right. I'm like the janitor from Ned's Declassified. In drag, I'm the janitor from Ned's Declassified. Outside, I'm Coconut Head.
Once again, Drag Master, just bringing entertainment to any TV near you.
The Drag Master Cinematic Universe.
The Drag Master Productions presents. There we go. So, I have a question for you,
Yes.
Clinica. If you were to be doing Snatch Game as a host, what would be a Snatch Game question that you would ask?
Oh, I would ask the students. I would say, dear students, all of you characters, probably another Edna mode in there, because why not? I would say, Oh, I got it. Edna Moa is on her way to the bar right now to kick all of your asses because someone just texted her that blank was in the building.
That blank was in the building.
Who's in the building?
So,
What's
now,
in the building?
answer the question as your Snatch Game character of choice.
Oh, geez. Well, Edna Mode, of course. Because why not?
Because
That's
why the fuck
doing another goddamn Edna Mode. I would say, I can't do her voice, so I'm not even going to attempt it, but I would say, darling, a cape is in the building, and I need you to come over, and I need you to beat it up, Edna. I need you to slay it and beat it up. I made you an outfit, I made you a costume, you're going to come over here, you're going to accept this mission, you're going to beat up this cape. You're not going to let this cape is sliding off of stage, and I need you to come over and I need you to fix it. I need you to beat up this cape, Edna. From Edna to Edna. Game recognizes game.
Game recognizes game.
Edna recognizes Edna.
From Edna to Edna.
From Edna to Edna. Edna to Edna communication.
Ednication.
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 Get your Ednication here at Drag Master.
Well, that was our episode.
Oh, wow.
Did you have fun?
Not until I get my gender ticket. Oh my gosh. Wait, hold on. There's like 3. Oh, wow. Well, I know it. Ferb, I know what we're going to do this today.
So, last thing before we go,
Absolutely.
Clinica. Where can the world find you in the socials of the media?
You can find me on Instagram at Clinica_Deprecious, as well as on Twitter at CDeprecious, as well as on Venmo and Cash App at Clinica D, simply D, not a D-E-E, just CLINICAD. You can also find me at my house if you can find my address, but I'm not giving that to you, you nasties, you little nasty creeps. Always wanting to get in my house. Everyone always wants to get in my house just because I work at IKEA. You can't have my discount. I won't give you my discount. So stop trying to make sweet love to me just to get this discount. I'm sick of it. Simply sick of it. If you want to find me, come find me. But I'm fast. My long legs will run. And when I run, you will not catch me. That is a situation you will find yourself in. So I just watered that flower. It's just my spit. So you can also find me on Facebook at Clinica D-E-E, because Facebook does not recognize Deprecious as a name. Fuck you, Zuckerberg.
You know what? Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. So with that being said, that was our episode. Thank you so much, Clinica, for being part of this.
Absolutely.
I would love to
having me.
have you again, potentially for season 3 of the Drag Masters Dean's Room.
I would love to be here, and you know, I'm not going to be on a worldwide televised competition at the time of next round of Drag Masters, so I would love to be involved in any way whatsoever.
Ooh, I may just have
We'll
to
see.
take you up on that.
I will be an actual janitor.
Thank you so much for being here, Clinica. I love you so much.
I love you, Hiliana.
You are just so funny.
Thank you. You're such a tease.
And you're so weird.
Oh my gosh.
And that feeds my weird.
Oh.
And together we're just even weirder.
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 Worder. Worder.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Thank y'all for tuning in. Subscribe. Am I in the Snatch Game right now? Are these the questions?
A free gender
Your
ticket.
gender ticket.
Might as well.
Change your gender for a night.
For one night only.
One night only.
One night only. One night only.